kidding. So, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. So tonight we're gonna jump right into it. Welcome back to Remembering Saturdays. I know I have been out maybe the last past two Saturdays or maybe just one, but and this week I haven't gotten to the videos. Life has been life, and I'll be very honest. Life has been life, but that's okay. Because guess what? When you become aware, life doesn't get easier because now you can't ignore what you see. Hi, Francine, can you hear me? And welcome, welcome. So, what if I told us that becoming aware doesn't mean that life gets easy? What if it's actually part of? What if that's actually part of the conditioning too? What if that's actually awesome? What if that's actually part of the condition too? Well, anyway, welcome back to Remembering Saturdays. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, you are greatly appreciated. And we're not here to change beliefs. We are here to simply shift perspectives, shift perspectives to open up your mind to something different, something new, something within. So take what resonates and leave the rest in love. And tonight we're going a little bit deeper. Because I didn't post last week, and instead of just brushing past it, I'm going to discuss two topics. Two topics tonight, okay? So one is I'm sure we went over before, or we may not have, or some of us may not have been here, so we can go over that tonight. And I'm not going to rush through any of this tonight. I'm not. So, what if I told us that becoming aware doesn't make life easier? And what if I said that waiting on God might actually be the very thing slowing everything down? What if I said, because that's what last week's topics were going to be about. What if waiting on God might actually be the very thing slowing everything down? Because we've been taught to wait, to pause, to hold until something outside of us go. But what if that's not the truth? We've been told that, oh, once you do this, you get this job, your life will be easier. Once you get into this relationship, everything will change. We've been told that waiting is something that actually makes our reality better, right? And that's a conditioning. That's conditioning, whether you like it or not. It's a conditioning that once things get better outside of us, then inside of us will show up. That is not it. That's not it. So I was supposed to talk about that last week, but again, like I said, I didn't post. And I want to say this to you. And the old mindset would say, oh, I'm being inconsistent. I felt like I was being inconsistent, really wasn't. I felt like I was falling off, really didn't. Or I felt like you were not disciplined. But guess what awareness says? Hi, Kit Kat, how are you? So awareness says something different. It says, guess what it says? You're human. You're human. You can't avoid the fact that you are human. Thank you. I appreciate that. What we can't ignore the fact is that we are human. Regardless of being aware, regardless of being awoke, at the end of the day, we are still human. So if we get into an era of our life where we don't have the energy to move, or we've taken on so much, the children, the job, the business, the car note, the bills, all of it, and we just at a point in our life where we don't know where to start at, we don't know how to finish, it's okay. It's okay to slow down, not let it overcome you, but work through it. Work through it. That doesn't mean you have to keep going, push harder, work harder. That's what you were conditioned to believe. That's what you were conditioned to believe. And then what inevitably happens is you burn out, you go into depression, your anxiety is through the roof. And then, sorry about that. Of course, I got kicked out. Don't ask me what happens, but I got kicked out. I'm back now. Let's just keep it moving. When you say someone speaks the truth, oh my God, you're saying what people feel. Oh my gosh, who you telling, Kit Kat? Very scared to say it. Very scared to say it, but it's so true. It's okay if you take some time to yourself. You're not being inconsistent. You're not failing. It's not that you're not disciplined. Because once awareness hits different, it hits different. It said, guess what? You're human. You're human at the end of the day. And that's where this conversation really begins tonight. Okay. Awareness does not remove the human experience. Let me say that again. Awareness does not remove the human experience, because guess why? We still feel things. We still go through things. We still have moments where we don't show up. That doesn't mean you're off track. That is the track. This is what the track is. We don't stop feeling. We don't. We stop getting lost in what we feel. We stop getting lost in what we feel. We stop letting those emotions completely run us and keep us in one area, in one spot for the rest of our lives. We stop doing that part. Because, hey, Sarah, how are you? And let me break it down for you. So before we react and spiral, we feel and observe. Before we react and spiral out of control, 0 to 100, we want to realize how we feel and observe it. And observe it. Okay, that's the real shift. That's the real shift. Because there's been multiple times where I could have just spiraled and just said all of this, literally. There has been multiple times, especially this week, where I was just like, you know what? I'm over all of this. I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to be the one to keep going and going and going. Because guess what? This week, it was totally a lot. So I didn't spiral. I didn't react, but I felt and I observed and I let it work through me. Hey, Edwin, how are you? And because we've been conditioned so much to think that we have to struggle, or if we're not struggling, that means life is too easy. That means we're not doing something right. Bull. That's BS. Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. I'm glad. I'm glad. Stay connected, Kit Kat. Stay connected. If you're not already following me, here's your chance. Because this is what we discuss all the time. This is what we go over all the time, all the time, all the time. And before I even get to the part about where I'm talking about where God, while you're waiting on God, and that's not what's, that's not what, that's why a lot of stuff is taking its time. Okay. All right. So here's the idea. This unspoken pressure, the unspoken pressure, the once we wake up, the pressure is gone. We should have it all together. Awesome. Bye. See you later, honey. Awareness, again, like I said, doesn't remove that. It doesn't remove that. We're just so conditioned to think that once we have everything going for us, everything changes. That's not true. We're still, like I said, we're still going to have feelings. We're still going to have moments where we don't show up. We're still going to go through challenges, setbacks, and emotions. That doesn't mean we're out of alignment. It's just the experience. It's just the experience. And that part is what nobody actually really talks about. Just like Kit Kat said before she left. That's the part that nobody talks about. And you want to know why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that growth looks like perfection. We've been conditioned to believe that growth looks like perfection. Once you've closed this deal, once you've done that deal, once you've gotten to this relationship, you met this person, guess what? Life is going to look so much better for you. Things are going to shift. But what if that's not what growth actually looks like? Feeling it, seeing it, and not getting lost in it. How about that? So if we're going to say, if I'm aware, I shouldn't struggle. If I'm aligned, everything should flow perfectly. If I miss a step, I'm falling behind. Who the heck told us that? Who told us that? Who told us that? And why the heck did we agree with it? Because we had to agree with it in order for everybody in the world to be doing it. We all had to agree to it in order for it to be taking place. We had to agree. We had to agree with it. And I hate when people say, "Oh, I had no parts in that. I just lived life." Yes, you're agreeing. Your living life is just agreeing with it. You may not think it is, but it is. We all play a part in everything that happens. We all play a part in everything that happens because we stop acting. We didn't ask questions, or we never asked questions, or we stopped asking questions, and we just went with the flow. That's agreement. That's agreement. You're agreeing to, just like we agreed at some point in time to stand in line. Who told us that we had to stand in line? I'm just saying that's something simple, that's something small, but I just want to point it out and tell you. So last week I didn't show up here. No, and like I said, the old me would have thought, damn, I'm being inconsistent, I'm falling off, I'm not doing what I said I would do. But awareness says something different to me. You're human. You're processing this huge change that you're going through right now. Whether I know I've said it a bunch of times on here, but I'm rebuilding, restarting with a whole, but thank you. Thank you, revenues. I'm rebuilding, I'm restarting. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going back to my ever going back to a 9 to 5. It's been 5 years. And I'm processing all of that while guiding 5 children at the same time. So I'm moving through something. Okay. And that doesn't take away who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And that doesn't take you away from who you are. That goes for any of us. Any of you all that's going through something right now and you feel like you're behind, you feel like you're not doing enough, you are. It may feel like that at this point in this moment in time because now you're aware of it. So now you're noticing it more because you're aware of it. But I'm gonna tell you what you are. You're human. You're processing. You're moving through something, and that doesn't take away from who you are. But you can't stay there. You can't lie in there. You can't lie in it. But you do need to feel it and go through it because that is healing, and that is the healthiest way to get through it. Not just tuck it under a rug, not just tuck it under a rug and say, oh, it'll get better or ignore it because that's going to build up the stress, the anxiety, the things that we don't want. So instead of judging the moment, we observe it. Okay. That's what I want to say. Instead of observing the moment, instead of judging the moment, we observe it. And instead of labeling ourselves, we understand ourselves. Point blank, period. We understand ourselves. And instead of trying to escape the experience, like I was just telling you, we allow it. We allow it without becoming it, without letting it absorb us, without just laying there in it and staying in it. No, we don't do that. That doesn't work for us. You ever seen a dog shit and stay in it? No. He whatever he did, buried that crap. And he did what he had to do to get and moved on. And moved on. So that's the shift. Not perfection, presence. Not perfection, presence. Okay. So what I really want us to sit with tonight, before I jump into the other topic that I didn't get to go over because I was working through what I was going through. All right. So we can't be hard on ourselves. We can't be hard on ourselves or simply just be human. We can't do either one of them. Okay. We're gonna be human regardless. But being hard on ourselves is not going to work for us because I know they told us that we have to be hard on ourselves. I know they told us in order for things to work for us or have things show up in our life, we have to keep going, going, and going. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. That's not going to work. And I'm not going to sit in here and bore y'all with this all night long, but that's not going to work. So this isn't about becoming anything. And I'll say this to everybody. We don't become anything. We remember. We remember who we are and we remember what we possess. And we're not becoming more worthy. We're not. We're not becoming more aligned. We are remembering. And part of remembering is realizing that this whole experience, the ups, the downs, the pauses, the breakthroughs, the breakups, it all belongs. It all belongs. And nothing is wasted. Nothing is wrong. We're just working it out consciously. That's it. And it's better to have it worked out consciously than have it worked out unconsciously because unconsciously it's not you creating that. Well, I take that back. You are creating that, but you creating it unconsciously. Why not create it where you can create the difference in the reality you want to show up for yourself? Because I know that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. And I want that for all of us because we all deserve to have the realities that we desire. We all deserve the realities we desire. And you guess what happened, guys? Let me tell you something because I'm going to stop talking about this topic real quick and I'm going to jump on to another one. But I don't want y'all to think that I'm just sitting down around not doing nothing because I haven't been on my live and I didn't post videos this week. I'm done, guys. The book is done. The book is actually done. It has the ISBN number, everything. It's just finished being edited, and formatted. And I think I'm most likely going to have it up. I think they said maybe 2 weeks. I'm going to try to shoot for faster than that. So make sure y'all grab your copy of the book. I'm definitely going to post it in the descriptions on all of my videos moving forward. Obviously, I'm not going to go back. I think I have over, I don't know, maybe 800 something videos. I'm certainly not going back. If y'all have any questions, if y'all still on here, feel free to talk because I'm probably just gonna stay on for a little while tonight. Just stay on and chat. If y'all have any questions, y'all want anything y'all want to talk about outside of what I'm talking about right now, please do. Let me get this out of my hand because obviously I'm totally distracted right now. Well, I'm distracting myself with that. Um, so I mean, let me know how's everything been going for you guys. How has everything been going for you all? What am I doing right now? Revenues, Edwin, if you're still here, Kit Kat, I know you left. Francine, and I can't really see everybody's whose name is up here. YouTube, don't show me that. It doesn't really show me that. I was watching somebody's live the other day. Oh, so everything's been going good, Francine. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So, I mean, if you guys don't have no questions, we could just jump back into what if waiting on God isn't what we've been taught? What if waiting is the delay? I just said this a little while ago. Waiting is the delay. Waiting is delay, like the delay or the feeling of being stuck. Not giving yourself a break. Not giving yourself, that's not a delay. That's the way you're perceiving it. That's the way you're perceiving it. I'm talking about waiting on God to actually make things come through. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've been taught to wait for what? A sign? Wait for a confirmation? Wait until everything feels perfect? I'm telling you, it's similar. They similarly fold into they work with each other. These topics absolutely work with each other, okay? Because we were never meant to wait. We weren't. We were meant to trust, move, and remember. We were meant to trust, move, and remember. And I'm not talking about the type of trust where you have any type of doubts, because those doubts right there mess up everything. I'm talking about the wholehearted trust, unconditional trust, the trust that nothing that you see is going to alter that. Nothing that you hear is going to alter that. Nothing that you feel is going to alter that trust. That's the type of trust that I'm talking about. And that trust ain't easy. I'm talking about the type of trust where it's like, okay, something in your spirit says you don't have to go to this job today. You'll be fine. I need you to do something else. And you trust that intuition. You trust that discernment. You trust that inner voice. And you don't go to work. That type of trust. I'm talking about that hard core unconditional trust. Unshakable trust is what I should say. Yeah. And that trust ain't easy. Let me tell you that from now. I don't care what they tell you or what you want to believe. That type of trust, that's like, hi, Edwin. That's like, come on. And they told us we gotta. Let me tell you, that trust ain't easy. Because I've spoken to a lot of people where it's like they want to do their own business, they want to do their own, their own thing because they don't like working for people. And I'm like, go do it. Quickly they say no, but I got bills and I'm comfortable here. So you don't trust yourself enough to go ahead out there and do what you feel you should be doing. You don't trust in yourself. You don't believe in yourself that strongly enough that you don't make that happen because you're comfortable. See, when I tell you this type of trust, this is the type of trust that's unshakable. It's either you with it or it's either you with this or you're not. I'm being honest. It's either you with it or you not. So waiting on God to come through and waiting on God, that's not how God intended it to be. That is absolutely not how God intended it to be. Because we were already equipped with everything that we need. We just forgot that we were. And other people with the conditioning and everything else had us not believe it. How can you give me money? I have a Zelle. I have a Cash App. I have it all. But look, I'm not one to tell you I don't want to receive. I'm gonna receive wholeheartedly the same way I give. Trust me, I'll drop that in the description. If you want to give, hey, I will drop my Zelle in the description. And what I'm telling you is this: like, don't move fast just because you feel like you have to move urgently. because that's what they tell us. If you don't move fast, if you don't move as urgent as you want, as urgent as, let's just say, the next deal. Hey Lester, how are you? Then you're behind. You're behind. You're behind. You're behind. No, that's not how it. That's not how it works. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me, like they want you to wait on God. I've had homeowners, because you guys know I'm in real estate. I've had homeowners tell me, and I'm gonna be honest, I've had homeowners tell me like, oh no, and they don't say God. They literally say, oh, Jesus will handle it. Jesus gonna take care of it. Jesus gonna make sure I don't lose my home. What if, and I say this to them because I try to be honest, what if we're connecting? Because they tell me most of the times they don't even answer the phone, but you felt the need to answer the phone when I called. Maybe, just maybe, that's God sending me your way. Not saying that it is, but what if, the little small things that happen in our life that we're not aware of are the confirmations that everyone seems to be looking for? What if the things that we actually ignore or just think that it's coincidence are the signs or the confirmations that we need? I have to tell them this all the time. If you sit there and you just wait, like you sit in your chair and you do nothing and you just wait for Jesus to help your homes not be sold, then guess what? That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So you waiting on, and then you blame God. Oh, I guess God didn't want this for me. That's not how that works. So that's not how that works. But And a lot of us have been waiting to start something. We've been waiting to leave something. We've been waiting to move. We've been waiting to decide. We've been waiting to take action. And while we've been waiting, what we've been waiting and feeling like, we've been feeling like we're stuck. We've been feeling like we're delayed, we're behind, and we just felt like something's just isn't moving. Yeah, you not moving because everything you looking for is right in front of you. Everything you asking for is right in front of you, but you waiting because you think that something's supposed to fall out of the sky and land on your lap or land in your hands. That's not how that works. So when the homeowners tell me that, I tell them no. I try to explain it to them in a way that makes sense because I don't want to sound, like I have all the answers and I know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just kind of point them out to them and show them the examples of what if, what if, because it's so much conditioning that we think. It's so annoying. It's so the conditioning that we never questioned is so annoying to me. But the waiting was never meant to do nothing for us. The waiting wasn't meant to stop our life. It wasn't. I'm taking that back. I'm saying that wrong. What if the waiting was never meant to mean doing nothing? Gentlemen, what if the waiting was never meant to mean doing nothing? Because it's not. What if the waiting what if waiting, I need to slow down. What if waiting was never about stopping your life? Because it's not. What if it was about trusting without fear, that trust, that hardcore, unshakable trust, moving without force, effortlessly, because everything is aligned, and being in peace while still taking steps. Being in peace while still taking steps. Because let's be real. Let's be real. A lot of the times when we say we're waiting on God, we're actually waiting because we're unsure. Yeah, we're actually waiting because we're unsure. Hey, Richard. We're waiting because we're afraid. And we're waiting because we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to make the wrong move. We don't want to. No,